They told me, you are drugged up right now and you are not in your right mind and you need to go home and just rest and do exactly what we tell you to do and don't veer off of that track. And so what did I do? I went home and I completely did the exact opposite of what they told me to do. Jeez, what a greaseball I turned out to be. So it's over, guys. The surgery is officially done. And while I really just don't want to belabor this too much longer, I owe it to you guys to give you a little update of what went down, how it all went down, and where we're going from here. So to tell you the truth, I'm really still kind of out of it right now, which I was not expecting. I figured I would come out of this thing and the next day I'd be out watering rhododendrons and working on the property and just dealing with the hand, but that is not what happened. And I got a little bit of some story to tell you, a little storyline here to go along with everything over the last couple days. And it's been a few days since I posted. I know you guys have been waiting for this, but I was not in a good place yesterday, so we'll cover all that real quick here and let you know what went down. So let's just start with Friday. So I woke up Friday morning knowing that I had to have surgery that day, and I thought I was fine up until then. I was scared out of my mind. I don't know why. The thought of surgery or somebody, I think it was because my mind kept going there. I kept imagining somebody just slicing that finger open, pulling it all open, pulling it back, and messing around in that hand, and it just kept messing with my head and freaking me out. And I got more and more nervous the closer we got. I was pretty quiet all day. My dad came over. My wife and dad took me to the orthopedic center, and they were there with me, but I was pretty quiet. I wasn't talking a whole lot. I was pretty nervous through the whole process. So the process, despite how I felt in my head, actually went really smoothly. And I do have to say, when I look back from beginning to end of this, everything has gone exactly as planned so far. And it has gone really smoothly from the ER visit all the way through the doctor's appointments and the surgery and all of it. I mean, it's really gone well, and I've had a lot of awesome care from a lot of awesome people throughout the whole process in the medical world, and I really appreciate all of those people. However, Friday I was a little out of my element. It was a little weird. You know, I'm wearing pajamas, walking around in a cold environment. All of these people I don't know and are wanting to poke and prod and mess with me, and I felt a little bit like a guinea pig. But man, leading up to that, an hour or two before actually going back to surgery, I was out of my mind, guys. I was keeping it all in, but I was scared out of my mind, and I just felt like I was this thing getting shuttled through an experiment. It is bizarre, and I know a lot of you have been through surgery, a lot of you have been through that, and you probably know exactly how I felt at that point. But and then the thing that was making me more nervous than anything wasn't necessarily the hand. I was working that up in my head, but it was the anesthesia. It was the block. The anesthesiologist came in. He said, we're going to have to stick a needle into your, he didn't say armpit, but he pointed where it was going. And I was really getting nervous and worked up about that. But it went really good. They wheeled me back into the OR finally. Or I walked into the OR, and they, you know, I see the OR, I see the table I'm going to be lying on, and they said, all right, go ahead and sit down here, lay your head here, put your feet up on the pillow. So I sit down, and I put my head down, lay my feet up on the pillow, and I'm staring up at this light setup that was turned off at that time, and it just looks like a big spaceship in there. And I'm just kind of sitting there staring at the ceiling, and the anesthesiologist says, you know, we're gonna start working on doing the block now. And I looked at him, and for the first time I said, man, I am really, really nervous about that. He goes, oh, what are you nervous about? And in the pre-op procedure part of it, he had come talk to me, and I told him, you know, I was talking about the EGD that I had in the past when I first got out of the Navy. So anyway, he knew I had been in the Navy. He goes, well, what are you so scared of? He goes, you're a Navy guy. He goes, what do you like to drink? Martinis, margaritas? He named like 3 different drinks. And I just looked at him and said, yeah, I'll have those. He goes, oh, you want all of them, huh? And I'm sitting there staring and just nervous, and that was it. That was it. That was it. I was all worked up and excited over that. The next thing I know, the next flippin' thing I know, I'm waking up in the recovery room. I'm telling you guys, man, anesthesia is the weirdest darn thing. I didn't know the block even happened. I passed out cold. The guy gave me something. I was out, and I woke up in the recovery room, and you guys were absolutely right, 100% correct. Mike, take the anesthesia, get knocked out, because I can't even imagine my mind now. I thought I wanted to be awake for this. Are you kidding me? I'd have been out of my mind. They completely knocked me out, and it couldn't have been any sweeter, man. I woke up from just a beautiful little slumber, and I felt fantastic. Well, it turned out that anesthesia makes me a happy person, I guess, because the nurse kept telling me I was the funnest experience she had had all day from a post-op patient. And I woke up and I kept asking my wife if we're still married. I said, "Are we still married, honey? Did all this go well? Are we still married?" And they just kept laughing at me. I don't even remember all of it, but I was like super happy. I just remember waking up incredibly happy. The first thought in my mind was, it's done, it's over, it's done. I couldn't hardly believe it. And I couldn't feel a thing. The block was still going on. I had no pain. I had no feeling. In fact, I didn't even realize how little feeling I had until the nurse picked my arm up and started putting it in a sling, which I don't have to wear anymore. But she put my arm in a sling, and she was holding my arm out in front of me like this and kind of maneuvering it into the sling. And I'm looking at my arm, and I have nothing. It's like it's dead. It's like it's not even attached to my body. I'd never had a block before. I didn't know what it felt like. And I'm looking at my arm thinking, that's not my arm. It's like there's nothing there, man. She got it in the sling, got me all situated up against my chest, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. The doctor walked in the room a few minutes later, told me how everything went, and he said he was real happy with the repair. It went really well. And I'll tell you, so he told me what he ended up finding was it was actually better than what he had thought. If you remember from the last video, I couldn't actually, all I could do was wiggle my pinky at the very base right here. I couldn't bend it at the next joint, and this one we knew was gone. Well, when he got in there, he said this tendon past the second joint was actually intact. There was nothing wrong with it. I had sliced it just above that area, and this tendon was completely severed, so I had no movement from for the top joint there. And then I had also severed the nerve on the inside completely, so there was no feeling. It was completely numb. And the reason that I couldn't bend any of the rest of my pinky, according to him, was just because there was so much swelling in there. It was just stiff. And so anyway, that was really good news to hear. I've only got one repaired tendon in there. A pinky, one little tendon on one little end of one little pinky, guys. My brother came over the other day just prior to the procedure, and he's kind of a clown. He's always been a clown, and he probably missed his mark and should be a comedian. But he kept saying we need to start a t-shirt on here, and that just says hashtag it's just a pinky. But anyway, so it was just one tendon I severed, the one that controls the top of my pinky, and then that nerve. He was able to repair it all. He was really happy with the repair, said it all went really well. And then they put me in this thing, and I just remember being so goofy and happy, and all the drugs were on board, man, and I was just so goofed up, and I was a happy drunk. And I just kept looking at the surgeon saying, thank you, you are the best, that's why I came to you, thank you, you're the best. And the nurses kept saying, quit telling him that, we have to work with him every day. And I had read about him prior and saw that he had done his training at Harvard, and I said, you're the Harvard guy, you know what you're doing. And the nurses kept hitting me, knock it off, you're pumping his ego up. Anyway, it was kind of funny going through all that in the recovery room. And then that was it. They got me home. My wife and my dad got me in the car, got me home, and I was a motor mouth all the way home. I just felt so absolutely ecstatic and happy and excited that it was done, thank God. it was like this huge weight was lifted off of me. I mean, regardless of whether it was just a pinky or not, it was a in-depth surgery for a finger. They had to go in there and reattach a tendon and a nerve, and it scared the heck out of me. And you know, you still got to go through the whole process regardless of what they got to cut up and do. But it was like a huge weight was lifted off of me. And they said that the nerve block would wear off in 12 to 36 hours. Well, it started wearing off. I think they started the nerve block around 2 o'clock, 2:30, something like that. It was already wearing off at 9 o'clock that night. But the pain wasn't too bad yet. I could feel the pinky, but it was probably a 2 or a 3 out of 10 on the pain scale. And, you know, they told me before I left the hospital, they said, now listen, you need to go home. And this is where things get really bad, guys. They said, you need to go home and you need to, and they told my wife all this too, and she tried, God bless her heart, she tried so hard to make me do the right thing. And being the stubborn man that I am, I kind of screwed everything up that night. But anyway, they told me, you are drugged up right now and you are not in your right mind, and you need to go home and just rest and do exactly what we tell you to do, and don't veer off of that track. And so what did I do? I went home and I completely did the exact opposite of what they told me to do. I got home and, you know, they had spelled out, you need to, every 4 hours you need to be taking your pain medication. And I got home, they even told me stories of people going home and racking up massive thousands of dollars of debt on credit cards on Amazon because they weren't in their right mind and didn't know what they were doing. And the drugs just do weird things to you, man. But I got home, and for some reason I was overly obsessed with this thing healing as strongly and as fast as possible. Somehow I got stuck in my head, and I'm telling you guys, I was not in my right mind from them drugs. I got it stuck in my head that I needed it to heal 100% so that I could get back to using it, lifting weights, working with plants and outdoors, and being able to use that pinky. And I was so obsessed with, if I did anything to challenge the healing or inhibit the healing, it wouldn't heal right. I don't know why I got that stuck in my head, but I did, and I obsessed on it. And so the first thing I did, and once again, it's the whole, you know, nurses make the worst patients. I proved it, and didn't mean to, but I proved it. And so first thing I did when I get home, I had no business going and sitting on the computer. I should have just gone to bed. But I went and sat down at the computer and started looking up research papers on pain medication and its role in inhibiting healing. I don't know why, guys. I was obsessed on this in my brain. And I found some research papers through the National Institute of Health that were saying ibuprofen was detrimental to tendon healing in the first few days of having the repair done. And that there was one article that mentioned opioids, which, by the way, I'm a lightweight. They told me I was a lightweight. They said they knocked me out easier than they thought. They thought I was going to be awake during the procedure and talking to them, but I told him I didn't want many pain meds. He did write a script for Norco, and I did take it, and we did fill it on the way home. Anyway, got home, I start reading these articles, and I tell my wife, you know, it's only a 1 or a 2 out of 10. I don't want to take any pain medication. I'm fine. I don't like pain medication. She said, Mike, you need to take it. And I said, hon, I don't want to take it. It's going to inhibit the healing. I'm reading these articles. Well, the doctor knows best, and he's telling you need to take it, and it's going to hurt your healing if you don't take it. You're going to be too stressed out. And I said, hon, I'm reading the articles right here, and they're saying otherwise. I don't know why I was arguing with her so much, but the pain kept creeping up more and more and more until it ended badly the next morning. But the pain kept creeping up. I finally got down and laid into bed, and the block wore off pretty quickly. By 10 or 11, it was completely wore off, and I was laying there in bed on my back in just about the most miserable condition a human being could possibly lie in. And I am not saying all this for pity at all. I don't want pity. This was stupid on my part. I should probably get a spanking for this, but I was in the worst pain I've ever been in my life. It was like my finger was a 30 or a 50 out of 10 on the pain scale, and it was burning. It was like somebody had lit a fire under my hand, and my entire hand was on fire, just burning, the most intense burning pain you could imagine. And there's stupid me. I just laid there and took it and told myself, it's going to be fine. The tendon's going to heal better. The tendon's going to heal better. It's going to be fine. Guys, I wasn't in my right head. It was the drugs. It was the anesthesia. It was screwing me up in the head. And I'm laying there taking all this pain and not... it was horrible. It was a nightmare. I was up all night just taking that pain. Didn't sleep. And just took it and took it and took it. Didn't yell, didn't cry, didn't say a word. I just laid there and I took it. And morning came. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning. 6:30, something like that. And I finally said, I can't take this anymore. I have to get up. I got to go pee or something. So I got up out of bed and I stood up. I walked around the bed, walked into the bathroom, sat down on the toilet, and all of a sudden I just started sweating profusely. And I don't know if it was because of the pain. I'm telling you guys, this pain was out of this world. Out of this world. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I mean, I thought it would be something similar to the first visit to the ER when they sewed it up. It was that times 100. It was out of this world. And I'm sitting there with this, my hands on fire. I mean, immense fire. And I'm sweating profusely. And I started taking a couple deep breaths. And I just kind of yelled to Shelly. I said, Shelly, I don't feel good. I'm going to pass out. Here we go again. Here we go again, guys. Just stupid, 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 man. So she comes running into the bathroom all freaked out and scared. It's like 6:30 in the morning. And I'm sweating profusely. And Shelly, I got to figure out how to get back to bed. I'm going to pass out. And I'm taking deep breaths. And I stand up. She's trying to pull my pants back up. And she goes, let's get you back to bed quick. And I take like a step or two, and then that's all I remember. I fell, man, all the way down onto the ground. I wasn't even sitting when it happened this time. I completely blacked out. I don't even remember blacking out. I just blacked out. I had gotten to the door of the bathroom, fell into the door, and then fell down this way, and I landed, boom, right on this arm. And so I've been a little nervous about that. Thank God they've got me in this hard cast deal here, and this is completely hardened material. It's softer around this side, but it's super hard right here, just like a cast. And that's what I landed on. Since then, I've been nervous that I could have ruptured the tendon or something else, but I think I'm okay. I don't think I hit that hard because I hit the door first and I slid down it. My wife was behind me and said she was trying to slow my fall, but she's a little thing and couldn't really help too much. Anyway, blacked out completely, fell on the floor. Next thing I know, I'm laying there on the floor hearing screaming in massive pain, and just in my brain, it's confused again, and slowly waking up going, what is going on? And that was like my breaking moment, man. And I just laid there going, what is happening to my life? Like I said, I do not want pity, guys. I'm fine. We're a day past that now. I'm good. I'm back outside. I'm fine. I don't want pity. I don't want any of it. This is a stupid decision on my part. Stupid decision on my part not to take that pain medication. I'm sure I passed out because of the pain. It was that bad, and because of getting up so quickly. But just a lot of stupid decisions on my part. I will just say that. And the reason I'm giving you guys all this information is, one, because I know you want the updates, but two, this is for me. Just as I'm kind of recording all this now too as a reflection on, you know, a point in life I went through, and hopefully this will help somebody else not to make the same stupid decision. But anyway, I'm laying there on the floor and I'm thinking, in a massive pain, completely blacked out, starting to wake up and hearing screaming, and all I can think, and it's Shelly screaming, and all I can think is, what is happening to my life? I'm just like not in my right mind. I don't know what's going on, and it's just a pinky. Hashtag it's just a pinky. But everything's just jacked up right now. And slowly I start to sit up, and I get sat up and I sit against the cupboard and I'm just sweating. And I just broke down and started crying. I just thought, what a week ago I was fine. I was working every day. I was going through life. I was doing my plants. We just got back from vacation in Oregon. I was living my life, and here I am. It's like everything, my whole life was completely upset, and I just broke down, started crying. And Shelly's like, "It's okay, hun. We'll get you through this." It was a horrible, hard, tough moment. And I'm giving this to you guys. I've never done this on video before, but I'm giving this to you guys because you're saying you want it, and I kind of feel like I owe it to you after dragging you along through all this process. Anyway, 23 minutes. You guys have probably clicked off by now, but it was a bad deal. So she gets me back to bed finally, and I gave in. I took the pain medication, and within an hour I was in blissful la-la land. I'll try to speed this up. I got through the rest of the day taking some pain medication. I am truly a lightweight. I was taking a half of Vicodin or Norco and three ibuprofen, and it was knocking the pain down to a 1. And I was loopier than heck on a half of a Norco, so I'd probably be a fun, cheap drunk. But anyway, got through the rest of the day yesterday. It was painful, but the pain meds, oh my gosh, they helped immensely. And I finally got to sleep last night feeling fairly good. Woke up this morning and the pain's completely gone. I haven't had to take any pain meds today at all. The pain is like a 0 to a 1. I really have no pain. I feel wonderful today, and I wish I would have taken those pain meds that first night. It was just really stupid on my part, but I'm past that now. And I feel so much better now, and we've got an OT appointment on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to getting. I'm a little nervous about that because it probably will hurt, but it's all about recovery now, guys. This is a long video, but you know, got to get it all out. But OT on Wednesday, we're gonna get through this, and I'm looking to always look on the bright side of life. We're gonna be heading up. It's all going to the great place. Not in the sky, but it's all going to a greater place. How's that? Anyway, so I think we're done here. I don't really have anything else to tell you guys. I just wanted to get out here this morning, even though I am completely out of my element now. And oh, by the way, if you've gotten to this point in the video and you haven't dropped out by now, that book I talked about the other day, Wake Up and Live, I think I'm going to read that again. And this whole experience has done exactly what that book preaches. It has taken me completely out of my element. But if you haven't found it yet, people are finding it as a free PDF online because the book is so old and it's out of circulation. I think you can buy reprints of it, but it's not copyrighted anymore. So you can actually find it for free as a PDF online if you guys are wanting to read that. It's a really good book, and I think I'm going to read it again. I'm going to take this time and do a lot of other little things, you know, like we talked about, some soul searching. I'm just chilling out, and none of it really matters without your health. So anyway, I'm looking forward to getting back to recovery, getting this hand back. I am really out of commission now because they've taped this thing up completely. I can't even use my fingers. I really can't use my thumb much, so I'm pretty well done with this hand for a while. He said it's going to be 6 weeks, but we're going to get there. So I hope this update helped you guys. I think I'm going to get off the whole pinky track now, and we're going to start going back to focusing on plants. I don't know when I'm going to post again, but I'm still in a little bit of a funk in my head from all the drugs, but but we'll get there. We'll get back there, and I will post again, and I am raring to go to get some of these videos finished up for you. I'm excited about some of them I'm doing, and getting some new ones started for you guys. So hope you appreciated the video, and it helped you guys know where I'm at, so you quit worrying about me. And have a fantastic week, guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Adios.